The plague of liberalism is so much worse than I can show you here on YouTube. If you saw how many teachers and Generation Z kids there are on TikTok talking about their pronouns and their warped view of the world, you would pull your kids out of public school, forbid them from having a smartphone until they're 18, and move to a small town in Montana. Thankfully, many people are finally beginning to realize the extent of the cultural Marxist attacks being waged against the human race and the foundational fabric of society, but few know just how deep the rabbit hole goes, and what most people see is just the tip of an iceberg of insanity that's spreading throughout the Western world. And what's worse is that the Marxist Democrats have been quietly and steadily passing new laws across the country, which now force business owners, landlords, and teachers to go along with this agenda, forbidding them from firing people who no normal person or business wants to be around, claiming it would be discrimination and they can't even speak out against it or they might get sued for harassment. The social media companies are in lockstep with them, enforcing Orwellian terms of service designed to censor criticism from conservatives who disagree with this madness or who post basic facts about biological sex differences or statistics about crime or denounce people raising children in certain kinds of lifestyles. And it's all in the name of progress and creating a positive community and safe space, they say. Ronald Reagan once remarked that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism, and it surely is. They want us defunded and deplatformed, totally banned from being heard on social media. Major corporations like Uber and Airbnb are even banning people from using their apps because of their political beliefs, or if they happen to have attended a protest or other political conference that the thought police have deemed racist. It's not even just fringe people that few outside of their circles have heard of. Michelle Malkin was banned from using Airbnb after speaking at a conference. Let's not forget that restaurants have even refused service to people for simply supporting President Trump. Conservatives understand that our rights come from God, not the government, and certainly not from corporations. The government's job is to protect our inherent rights, not give them to us or decide who gets them and when and for what reason we're born with them. But liberals are doing everything they can to take them away from us. We are up against a well-funded and dedicated group of conspirators who will stop at nothing to get what they want. To fight back against them, you have to vote in the midterm elections and in your local elections, not just every 4 years in the presidential election. Your local Republican Party should have a voter guide with their recommendations for who to vote for regarding various positions in your city, from the mayor to the school board members and even the county treasurer. Start showing up at your local school board meetings along with your friends and neighbors, and give the school administrators a piece of your mind and ensure that they're not secretly browbeating your children with anti-whiteism or trying to turn them into a bunch of gender-bending drag queens. As Plato famously said, one of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. You have to look at voting like paying your taxes. It takes a little bit of time and effort and certainly isn't what you would prefer to be doing, but if you don't do it, you're going to get screwed. If you can afford it, put your kids at private school and learn the dangers that lurk for them on social media, and be sure to provide them with plenty of entertaining and educational alternatives instead of what the pop culture is programming kids to think is cool. We are under assault and we have to fight back with lawsuits, with tweets, Facebook posts, and YouTube videos to counter their propaganda on every platform with a flood of new conservative content every day. We need armies of anonymous trolls to engage in meme wars, producing clever and viral images which capture the essence of our message. We need silent soldiers too, who are just as important to quietly fight the liberal agenda simply by not adopting their ridiculous ideas and instead living their lives in accordance with the truth and set examples for their children and grandchildren and others. Liberals want to turn our society upside down and dismantle the very institutions which helped make our country so great to begin with. And they're trying to stab at the very heart of humanity, hoping to cause the social fabric to completely unravel. They're targeting families, friendships, intimate relationships, marriages, and children, claiming that humans have been doing it all wrong for thousands of years, and it's time for a total revolution to overthrow the old order. In the 1960s, drug-fueled teens and young adults experimented with free love and hippie communes as they rejected modern society, but after a few years their lives became hopeless disasters. Their pipe dreams of a utopian society soon collided with the harsh realities of life their childish minds had ignored or hadn't yet contemplated. The hippies later realized that, as problematic as it could be sometimes, the nuclear family, which had been the way human beings had lived for tens of thousands of years, is the best way to live. And capitalism, despite its flaws, is the best economic model for people to prosper. The fantasies of the 1960s soon faded away, and the flower children eventually grew up. Let's hope we'll have a similar revival of traditionalism, and that the progressive politics and toxic social experiments of modern liberalism will soon come to an end. Let's hope that we can quickly put this dark chapter in the history books and move forward to a more rational and reasonable society. While that is the goal, it is possible that we may have passed the point of no return. There are so many vultures out there that have sunk their claws so deep into the psyche of our species, they may have permanently damaged a large segment of society, and they're enjoying it. The spiteful mutants' only mission is to spread their misery to others. Like Jesus said, "For wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it, but small is the gate and narrow is the road that leads to life, and only few find it." So while we may not be able to find a cure for the liberal plague that is affecting the masses, you can find comfort in the fact that you can largely insulate yourself and your loved ones from the cultural craziness by continuing to practice the traditions that have been proven effective around the world and across time. No matter what the majority of people are doing, or what the news claims is going on, or what the celebrities say we should think, or what the social media trends show is right or wrong, we know the truth, and the truth will set us free. If you like my serious monologues like this, then you'll love reading my books, like Liberalism Find a Cure, which isn't just a great t-shirt that you can order from my online store, markthis.com, but also a very serious book complete with over 800 footnotes, because everything is thoroughly documented and sourced. My books are a lot more in-depth and hardcore than my videos, which I have to tone down a bit for obvious reasons. So head on over to amazon.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.